What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Market Marauder Show. Hope everybody's having a great week out there, able to lock in some profits. So let's jump into it. Today we're going over Penny Party, which is a series where I talk about penny stocks. So if that's something you like, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so first one we have on here is ticker sign SRTS. They had a week high of $6.09. Overall bullish though. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100, which is this red line, and VWAP is above moving average 10. So they ended the week at $4.57, and they will have to go back up and test the $6.09 level. So on the channel, I like to give some background information on the stock. So let's do that. So background information on the company. This article came out on the 25th, so pretty recent news, and they just gave their fourth quarter and full year 2020 financial results. So I'm going to briefly go over this because it's really good information about the company in general. So it says they achieved quarter net income of $1 million on revenues of $5.1 million. So that's pretty good. But going down here, I'm going to look at some of the financial stuff for the fourth quarter. So for their fourth quarter, revenue in 2020 was 5.1 million, compared with 8.5 million in the fourth quarter of 2019. So they've gone down quite a bit. And then it says the decrease was due to a reduced number of units sold due to the pandemic. So that's kind of expected. Gross profits for the fourth quarter of 2020 was 3.2 million, or 63.4% of revenue. Compared to 5.5 million and or 64.1% of revenue in the fourth quarter of 2019, and then this is also due to the pandemic as well. General administrative expenses was 0.8 compared to 1.1 for the quarter in 2019, so they basically decreased their expenses, so that's good as well. Research and development for the quarter was 0.8 compared to 0.9, so they reduced expenses on that as well. And it seems like in general, they're starting to move in the right direction, in my personal opinion. So for their full year outlook, their total revenue for 2020 was 9.6 million compared to 27.3 million for 2019. As we know, a lot of businesses had a lot of rough things going on in 2020. It was kind of rough for a lot of companies, so that's to be expected in my personal opinion. Gross profit was 5.2 million, or 54.8%, compared to 17.6 million, or 64.4% of revenue. So then the decrease, talking about sales and the pandemic as well. So definitely going to be looking to see how this company can start moving forward, especially since 2020 is over, and what their projections are for 2021 moving forward, things that they're developing, and some more press releases in general, strategic move for the company. With that being said, I'm going to have a price target for the company. And I'm going to say probably around the $5 range, or this $5.19 range. So right at this VWAP is going to be a level that I'm going to be looking at, this 519 level right here where this green line is located. So that's just going to be my indicator on that one. Also bear in mind, this is not financial advice, just for educational purposes, so bear that in mind. Next, with ticker sign ZIOP. So they had a week high of $5.55, ended the week at 5.33, then had an 11-cent rally after hours to end at 5.44 for the week. So only 11 cents away from its weekly high of 5.55. So pretty good on that metric. They are bullish. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100, but VWAP is below moving average 10. So hopefully that can change, and it'll be another run up. Then they will have to test this 5.55 level yet again. And as we can see, there's been some oscillation because that VWAP hasn't really moved that much. So definitely going to be looking to see how this performs when the market opens on Monday, especially considering with this 11-cent rally after hours. Going to be looking for another 11-cent rally after when the market opens on Monday. So background on this company. We can see that they had their update as well. So it says they provided a fourth quarter and full year update. So they got FDA IND clearance for their groundbreaking TCR-T, which is phase 1 of 2 clinical trial. So that's pretty good. IND is investigational new drug, so it's an application that pharmaceutical companies fill out. It's similar to an NDA, if you've heard that term before, which is a new drug application. So it's a pretty good step forward for any drug pharmaceutical company in general. So I think it's pretty good news for them. Going into their financial parts or the financial section of them. We can see in their fourth quarter, their expenses were 14 million compared to 10.2 million, which to me is kind of expected since they do have a new drug that they're putting through IND. That does take some money to do so. And then general administrative expenses that increased as well to 8.8 million, so that's to be expected as well. And then they had a large loss of 22.8 million compared to 15.7 million, so they lost quite a bit. That may be alarming, at first when you see that. That's quite a bit of money to lose. But their cash and cash equivalents is 115.1 million. So they do have a large storage of cash built up in order to cover some of these expenses. So I think going into quarter one for 2021, I think with that cash on hand, if they can get this IND approved and then start producing or manufacturing this drug through this FDA, what is it, the TCR, what was it, TCR-T, then I think it'll be a good move for the company moving forward. So with that being said, the next price target that I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to be looking at probably around the $6 range. But first, I want to see it break through this 555. So next going to be 555. Going to be looking at that on Monday to see if it goes up to that 555. Then next target going to be $6. So definitely keep an eye out on ticker sign ZIOP. Next, we have ticker sign TRCH for Torchlight. They are bearish. Moving average 10 is below 50 or 100. VWAP is below moving average 10, so they are bearish at the time of this video. They ended the week at 248. Background information on them is that they just had a loan of $10 million, allowing Meta Material to execute on business plan in advance of shareholder votes. So they are trying to do a senior secured lender, which is converting the remaining 1.5 million of senior debt. So they're doing some strategic financial things for the company, trying to restructure. Overall, I think they have quite a bit going on financially to try to stay afloat, rebalancing of things and moving money around. But I think once that stuff is over and there are press releases about different projects they're doing and how they're going to be expanding, I think the company will start to go back up price wise. So with that being said, next price target I'm going to be looking at is $3 for this one. Now their moving average 100 is 304, so we'll be looking at that $3 to 304 dollar range for their next price target for TRCH. So once it breaks through that, then it will be bullish. We'll have a bullish uptrend, but bear in mind this is actually coming down. So I think $3 is not too bad of a range to be looking for TRCH. Next, we have ticker sign IDEX for Ideonomics. They are bearish as well. Moving average 10 is below 5100. VWAP is below moving average 10, so bearish on both metrics. They did end at 319 for the week, and then went up 6 cents after hours to end at 325. So that's kind of the level that they're at. I'm going to be looking at them as well to see how they perform, especially since they had some positive movement in the after hours. Background on them. This just said Ideonomics announces its membership to CalStat or CalStart, a national nonprofit organization focused on accelerating clean transportation. And then, just says what they're going to do and what the different fleets and stuff that they're going to be doing. Going to be looking for some more updates of this. This came out the 26th, and then how they're going to be expanding, their EV commercial adoption and their spread of EVs and things of that nature in the EV space. So this company is in the EV space. I encourage you to go look them up. Definitely have some interesting products that they make. But them joining different groups and organizations could yield profitable for them in the long term. So definitely going to be looking for some more updates on the company. Why it's currently down. I think it's definitely down because it's reflective of the whole market in general going down. I don't think it's solely directed to the company as a whole doing anything bad strategically. So I think a lot of these stocks were down because of the market was down as a whole. A lot of people sold off, just took profits. And I think once the market starts to rebounce back up, we could see companies like this start to rebound back up. So, there's companies in the EV space. If a company like Tesla even fell, during this strategic, market sell-off, then I expect a company like IDEX to sell off as well, not being as big as a Tesla. So, just don't be alarmed if you saw that happen and you're like, oh, my penny stocks are just, all over the place. They're not really profitable. It's just because the whole market is selling. It's also tax time as well, so a lot of people are taking profits to pay off those capital gains taxes, which if you don't know, you will know about them when you file taxes this time. But hopefully everybody is able to lock in profits, and hopefully videos like this have helped you to increase your portfolio through this year. So last one here, we have ticker sign Amrx, and they are bullish. Moving average 10 is above 5100. VWAP is below moving average 10, so maybe some more sideways momentum or some oscillation, coming up in the future. They did have a week high of 588, ended the week at 539, and then after hours went down to 530. So had a pretty significant sell-off towards the end of the day, but definitely going to be looking at them for Monday. So background on them, they did have their quarter results that came out on the 26th, so pretty new news that came out. So in their quarter 4 2020, revenue of 510 million. So I think that's pretty good. And then adjusted net income of 43 million. Full year revenue was 2 billion, so a lot of money went to them. And GAAP net income of 91 million. Full year 2020 adjusted net income of 191 million, adjusted EBITDA of 456 million. So that's just a recap of their financials. Overall, seems like they made quite a bit. They had a revenue of 2 billion, so I think that's impressive for any company, in my personal opinion. So another article from them that came out 26 as well is that they received approval for the generic version of Evra. So it was granted 180 days of exclusivity under the FDA competitive generic therapy, so CGT approval pathway, and then expects to begin commercialization March 1st. So I think this is huge for the company that they were able to get this FDA CGT, so that will definitely be money going towards them. That will help and start their rollout of this actual Evra to the masses. So definitely going to be looking to see how this or what their timeline is for this, and definitely going to be looking to see how many units they're able to sell, as well as how that increased their profits for this quarter. So definitely keep my eyes out on this one. Since this article came out on the 26th, don't really understand why it went down. I think people kind of overlooked the fact that this was happening. So this article did come out later than the other one, which was the earnings. So maybe people just missed it. But definitely going to be looking to see this one, if anything, bounce off this moving average 100 line to go back up. Next price target that I have for this is $6, so above this 588 level, especially on the news of this FDA approval. All right, so drop a comment down below. Tell me which stocks you guys are looking at for the week. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.